Oh my god, it's you, Jay.
BTS, Bangtan Boys. Oh my god, it's the Bangtan Boys. They went to the White House. BTS is undeniably massive. And they're not really the first group to gain international recognition, but they are the first group to leave a significant impact on the global music scene. Now, here's the band-aid that's getting ripped off. I am not the biggest fan of BTS. This has nothing to do with their music. I'm just not that big of a pop fan in general. That being said, there were two particular solo acts from BTS members that I found myself liking a lot more than the others. The first one is V's first solo EP, Layover. It's a pop record at the end of the day, but it's got heavy influences from R&B and jazz. One of my favorite songs from the album, Slow Dancing, has a minute-long piano solo in the middle of the song, and that's pretty rare to see in a K-pop record. Not to mention, the producers that took part in this project are all great as well. We got Frank and Frankie on here, the producers of New Jeans, which I am heavily biased towards, and in the later released remixes of Slow Dancing, they got Cautious Clay, an American singer, songwriter, and producer who has also produced works for Benzino in the past, an artist that I particularly like. Overall, the album has this really chill vibe that I love. The songs are easy on the ears while also being really musical and pleasant to listen to. In his album introduction interview, V describes a layover to be a short stopover when getting to one's destination. And although the mood of each layover can be different, it provides a chance to take a break and to assess one's journey and destination, to ensure that one is on the right track or if they have gone too far. And I think this album perfectly encapsulates that feeling. The chill and comfortable atmosphere of the albeit short 6 tracks provides a respite from our chaotic day-to-day lives. It gives us a chance to stop by, take a breather, refuel, and move on. The second album that I really love and actually wanted to spend the majority of this video talking about was RM's second studio album, Right Place, Wrong Person. This album is nuts, and it really highlights the talents of RM, not just as a rapper or a singer, but as an artist. A few notable tracks on here are Tomodachi, which features Lil Sims. Her verse is fire in this, bro, and complements the song really well and adds to the overall vibe of the track. I also loved the psychedelic ass track that was nuts. It starts off with this wonky ass beat and then transitions into this alternative rock with heavy guitars and concludes with the beat changing into this eerie, unsettling ass tone. And the last notable song off this album that I wanted to mention is Heaven, which is this really chill tune. The song makes me feel like I'm floating on a cloud for real. And man, the producers that worked on this album are crazy, with the bulk of them being K-indie and K-hip-hop producers. You can see that the prominent K-indie artist Oh Hyuk from the band Hyogo was involved in the project. Rad Museum also makes an appearance on this list, who sings and makes R&B, alternative hip-hop, and indie. He's worked with artists such as Dean in the past, and one of my personal favorite producers, Mokyo, made it on this list. I was so happy to see this guy on the list of producers because I always thought that this guy was talented and all his songs were fire as fuck. Fun fact, he produced all the songs in PH1's first album, Home Alone Lights Out. My personal favorite song that he produced is Benzino's Camp. If you guys haven't listened to that song, do check it out. It's honestly a vibe, and all his solo material is pretty good as well. A few other producers that I wanted to mention. J Clef is an underground artist who blew up with her 2018 album Flaw Flaw. She's experimental and makes unique vibes in her tracks by crafting very creative and original sounds. Truthfully, I didn't know who Moses Sumney was before listening to RM's album, but he's a pretty well-known alternative indie artist, and his contribution to the project in the song Around the World in a Day was really cool to see. Lastly, I wanted to talk about Kwak Jin On. He makes R&B, soul, and folk music, and he was the winner of Superstar K6 in 2014. His involvement in this project really surprised me because he typically makes really calm music, whereas the songs on RM's album were quite aggressive and stimulating. But 2 songs I would recommend from his discography are Eye to Eye and Freely. So how was RM able to assemble all of these talented producers to work on his album? I mean, this shit is like an Avengers Assemble moment for the underground Korean music community. In an Essence article, it mentions that RM often felt really burdened by the monumental task of acting as a cultural ambassador for Korea. The perception that an artist must be a public figure with conviction, a clear mind, and humility, combined with South Korea's Confucian cultural traits, has gradually molded RM into an almost flawless figure. And with that responsibility came a real identity crisis. Even mentioning to Jimin that if he tried to cater to everyone's expectations, he felt like he might die. And so RM felt this urgent need for self-validation as an artist, which resulted in him creating this new album. He wanted a change of pace and to switch things up completely. He spoke with San-yeon, the leader and director of the group Bombing Tiger, who RM have worked with before. They're kind of the group in Korea most famous for pushing the boundaries for alternative music. In an interview with Essence, San-yeon mentioned that he wanted to completely transform RM's creative environment. He mentioned that new people were necessary, and not those who had helped shape BTS's leader RM, but those who could offer a fresh perspective. And so he gathered a completely new team of producers and creatives that can provide fresh perspectives and a really unique and creative mind. And that's how Right Place Wrong Person was born.